So you're all welcome back. So the question we have is that when making the calculations and you type select top 100, does it mean the calculation will only be applicable to the 100, the top 100, and leave out the rest? No, that's not how it's going to work. How it's going to work is that it's going to evaluate everything based on the summation you give to it initially, and so once after it does the sum, then it's not going to give you the top 100 of the summation. So now let us write that. So, I was also thinking that since we've already converted these airport codes and what's it called? And tickets. So it's just best to just go ahead and just use this one to create a table. So I'm going to create this as a table so it will be easier. And now I believe you already know how to create a CTE, like a temporary table. So this is how we do that. So for ticket and airport code, I'll go ahead and do that. But probably for the last one, which is the flight, because of the stuff that it has, it might not probably do that. But just depending on how we feel like we want to do it. But this one, for us to do this, for us to create a table, with existing data, what we are just going to do is it follows this method. Select from select into then from. So now, since we already have this, we have select this, then we want to say into what? Into this, but I'm going to add this DBO so that it won't give it to that ticket. It won't just give it to it won't take it to my what's it called, to my system or my local table. So it's going to give it to these tickets. So into this, I hope I'm right. So we are going to slide this into this, and once you are done with that, then next again, so it's already selected into this. So once you refresh this, we see that we've also converted this, but don't forget we are yet to complete these coordinates, but we can do that later on. Then I will say into I'll just call this airport code 1. This, then I want to bring my DBO right here. The DBO, then I'm just going to run this. And I'm going to execute. So that one is faster. I will come to this training tool, then what I will do is refresh. So if I click on my tables, then we see the tables. We see flight, we see ticket 1, we see flight 1. So going forward, let's just try to reference that stuff at this time. So I can comment this out and comment this out. So so now with what the other person was saying the last time, I think there's where we select top 100 fare tickets. This, I think it's probably referring to this one. Let's just use this one as example. Select top 1,000 from tickets. So it's going to pick it from, I want it from ticket 1. I think we have ticket 1, yeah. Let's see, is it going to see that? Yep. So what this is going to do for us is that it's going to evaluate all of this. It's going to evaluate all of this. Then, well, even for this, it doesn't really matter, right? Because this one is just like additional column. But when we get to the aspect of the aggregation, when we are doing minimum, maximum, sum, when we are doing aggregation, then that's when that question will actually probably matter. Let's say we are doing sum. Let's do like we are doing sum of this. Then we can call it as itinerary fare. So you now see, it's going to throw up some kind of error now because it will expect us to do some group by. So you see that? So I wouldn't want to touch that at this time. So let me remove this and also remove this. So is it going to work that way? Yeah. So you see that it only gives just one because we are doing a kind of aggregation. But let's say we now throw in what other stuff do we have there? Let's say we're throwing in destination, destination, comma, then we have to group by destination, then it's going to give us unique destination. It's going to remove any form of duplicate. You see, it only gives 100 rows. So what it's going to do basically is that it's going to sum this. It's going to sum this one after the other. After it sum everything, then it's going to give us the top 100. It's not that it's going to do like, it's only going to select top 100 and it's going to give us a summation of that 100 alone. No. But however, if you want to do that top 100 that you're actually asking, like, oh, is it going to do it that way? Then that is when you are talking of subquery. So we are going to get that as well. We have subqueries inside from. Let's say, for instance, now we said select top 100, Control C from select top 100 from ticket. Then we close this. Right. So if I do this, let me see. Top 100, top 100 star. Where is international the word group by destination? Now let me remove this one. Select destination fare, then it's going to ask us. Is it meant to have this? I'm not sure, but well. We're gonna get there when we get to subquery. I'm going to show us more of that, but we can have something like this where we have this from statement. It will actually have a subquery. So in this case, I did mean that this actually work. In this case, what this one is going to do for us is that it's going to select top 100 tickets. So the top 100 ticket is, after you give us top 100 tickets, then it's now going to sum this itinerary fare just for the top 100 ticket, not for everything. So that's what I was trying to show us. So that was the question. Yeah. So that was a question. And also, if you are, so you notice that this training is brought to us for free, and time is being spent. So the YouTube page, if you get to follow it, do well to follow it. So for this distinct, I almost skip this distinct. So we have distinct as well. So what does distinct does? What a distinct, what it does is that it gives you unique value, just as the word sounds. So I want us to have this mindset when you are working with, let's say, SQL or any language. Don't tag the query or the line of code or codes as if it's very hard, you can't interpret it. So don't see it as if it's hard. See it as if it's something you can actually interpret. So for this one now, let's say we have distinct and we only want to select, let's say we don't want any form of duplicate, we just want just the distinct alone. We can say select distinct. Succeed. You can say select distinct, select distinct. Let's say maybe type. Instead distinct type from, then we know that we have airport code 1. So we don't really have to reference that one again. So you can just do this like this. Let's see. You see this airport, but let's say we run the same code and we remove the distinct. You see what it's going to give to us, and remove this distinct and run this. This is going to give us, you see, 55,369 rows. But when we run this distinct, what does it give to us? It gives us just only 7 rows. So it means that in all of this, in this airport codes, we only have 7 distinct rows. We only have airport, medium airport, small airport, large airport, C, and all this. These are the only things that we have inside the column. So I just want to point our attention to that. You can also use that one to do the distinct, and you can also use group by. You can also use group by. So for instance, I can say to C, and I can say group by this, and it's going to work. You see, this group by and this one is almost like the same thing. So let's have that at the back of our mind. You can do it in either you use group by or use distinct. This one and this one, almost perform the same function. So let's go to aggregation now. When we talk of aggregation, what are we talking about? We're talking about count. We're talking about sum. We're talking about average. We're talking about maximum. We're talking about minimum. Yeah, so we have this as aggregation. So, just like what we done the last time, you can say we want to, let's say we want to get the number of rows. Like, let's say we want to get the number of, let's just say we want to count the number of rows. So what do? We say select, then we say it just put in count, count is count. It doesn't really matter, whatever you call it. Then we want to say star. So sorry, star. Then let's say you can come here and just drag, or we can use, I think we had flight 1 right here before. Ticket 1. Oh, sorry. We have tickets. I was trying to look for something else. So if I select this, then you're gonna see that. You see that you only have one, maybe 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have 1,116,728 compared to when you do something like control X, and compared to when you do something like this. Okay, let me do it this way. Then select all. I want to select everything from ticket 1, and I come here and I run. So you see, if by the time it's finished running, it's probably going to give us. You see, the time is taking. It's taking a whole lot of time because it's displaying all of this, and whereas maybe we don't even need everything is giving, like everything that is displaying to us. All what we just need is just only give us how many records do we have inside the database. That's all we want. Or let's say we want to know, you see, 1,167,285, and this one takes 25 seconds. Let's say I ran this and I said, just run this. You see, this one goes 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and they give us the results, the number of rows that we have there. Now, can also say maybe let's say we want to get the total itinerary fare inside tickets. We want to just get the total or the total itinerary fare. Yeah, let's put it that way. Then we come to, but just for that, this summation, you can actually use this summation inside on text. It has to be on numbers. You can't say average of name, average of this. You can't do that. You can probably say average of age, average of numbers, average of values, and stuff like that. So let's say we want to select We want to select itinerary fare. I think we have it somewhere before. Yeah. We want to select itinerary fare. Want to see, want to view, want to select itinerary fare, like the sum of it, summation. So we're doing aggregation now. So for this one, we have to give it like we have to alias it as let's call this one total. Maybe let's say total sale, or total ticket number or something like that. Then if you now say from tickets, from DBO ticket, and to see, then and paste this, and I run this, it's going to give us the value. Like it's going to give us the total number of everything. So this is the total number of everything. But let's say for instance, we want to see the total number and based on passenger. So we can now say, I think we also have passenger there. Passenger, right? Is it passengers or passengers? Something like that. If I run this, then if we have passengers there, yeah, I think we have passengers there. If I run this, it's going to give me an error because it's going to tell you that it needs this to be grouped by, you know. So we have to go by all dimensions. For instance, if I added itinerary ID, origin, and everything, if I add it to this, I have to go by all of the dimensions. So I know some of us might be like, what is dimension again? So don't be confused with that. Dimension is it has to do with text. Just see it as quantitative and qualitative. Dimension has to do with text like string, like passenger, ID, origin, And when you now talk of facts, you might probably be hearing dimension table, fact table, especially when you start working in Power BI or stuff like that. They will ask you like, okay, fact table, dimension table. So dimension, depending on how you are able to remember it, just tell them dimension has to do with string, or it has to do with text, or it has to do with quantitative or qualitative, and anything that has to do with text. And our facts table has to do with anything that has to do with numeric, numbers, values, and that one has to do with quantity, like quantitative and stuff like that. So when I keep using it, so you probably get that. If you probably doing some kind of online training, that one will be like a special a special topic on its own. So that is that about that. So if you see this, you see right here what this one is giving us. It's only giving us 287, 287 rows. You could see, because it's grouping by passengers. Don't forget what we do the last time when we did passengers and when we did distinct, when we use distinct and group by. You see that it only gives us the number of passengers. It only gives us the number of like the unique type that we have. And this one is also giving us the unique passengers that we have as well. So you could see that. So, and that's how that one works. So now let's say, for instance, we also want to do average. We want to see the average number of what is the average itinerary fare. Maybe when we start doing Power BI, you say, oh, okay, I want to purchase. If you don't forget what we discussed yesterday, like let's say, for instance, your company want to acquire this company, like merger and acquisition, want to acquire this company, and they are trying to see, is it profitable for us? What route is profitable to us? Which route do we go for? Stuff like that. And now they want to see what is the average price. What is the average price of average tickets or total itinerary fare per this route. So you can do that. And what you can do is, you can just call it, for you to do, just say AVG. AVG stands for average. When we run this AVG, it's going to give us the kind of average per passenger. You see, this one is 215 per passenger, 64, 144, and stuff like that. But that one might probably look more confusing, like, oh, why do we have passengers numbers? We can now let's decide to use itinerary fare, itinerary hiding. You know that itinerary hiding, you probably have, it's like a unique identifier for each passenger. So let's run that and see what that one is going to give to us. So this one is giving us some kind of values already. You see, total say 385 for this itinerary ID for this passenger. And for instance, if you want to see like if you want to see just what's it called? If you want to see just um the total average of ticket sale for all the fares. So you don't have to add that. You can just do this, and it's going to give you just one single value, and it's going to give you the average. That's the average. So that one will give you the average sale. So I can also copy this one here and paste this one and remove this one. So now let's go to maximum. Let's say we want to see the what's the highest, Okay, let's say we finally agreed, to go for this decided to go for this for this company. Well, I want to see which passenger, or let's say for instance, we want to reward our passenger, or want to reward. Let's say we want to know the maximum. Maximum is max, maximum is max, minimum is minimum. So you can now say, we are running this, and you see the maximum that we have is 37740. So we now want to do it by itinerary ID. We want to see it, based on. Let me just copy this one and just replace this. So all I just have to do is change this one. Then if I run this one, it's going to give me the maximum number of, it's going to give me the max, it can give me the max like based on each of the persons, each of the itinerary ID, this is what they probably, order or stuff like that. So what this is going to do is that if we have any form of duplicate right here, then the duplicate will be gone. So now we can now order this. We can now say order by what? We want to order by is it total sale? I want to order by this. Let's say we want to order by that. We want to order by this value. We can't just call this total sale because it's only, we are only using this as alias. But I did mean that we are using like a CTE, like a temporary table for this. Then we can actually call this total sale like, okay, order by total sale. But since it's still within the same statement, then we can actually use that to do order by. Then we want to see the maximum and then to the minimum. So what it's telling me is that we have some nulls right there, and this one is doing it. Don't forget what we said the other time, that this we do it in ascending order. By default it will do in ascending order, but we want it in descending order so that we can see the maximum. And when we run that, we get that. So you see, this is the maximum, and you can see that the values we keep going down and keep going down and keep going down, keep going down. So we even have some passenger that the values are nulls. So this one might be a kind of data that is not clean. So let's also do the same thing for minimum. So it's also the same thing. I'll just copy that and change this for minimum. I'll change this to minimum. MIN, and minimum, and that's it. So if I run this, what is the minimum? No, you have 0 because we definitely have null. So now you can probably dig in and say, why do we have passengers that are not paying any money? Is it that they are using coupon, or is it that they want a promo or something like that? It's actually bringing more question, to make you to be more inquisitive. Like you just want to know more about the data. So now if we run this again, don't forget what this is doing. We are selecting the minimum of this. We are ordering. You want to group it by itinerary ID, and after we group it by itinerary ID, you want to see the it should actually give it to us by descending. This is the same thing, right? Because it's descending. But if we make it ascending, then it will probably be null. So it's just vice versa. So now let's say for instance we let me see. I think we've actually been able to we've actually been able to cover what we are meant to do today. But I think there's one more thing that I would like to add. Let's say we after we've done all this group by, we've done the aggregation in terms of summation, we've done average, minimum, and now we now want to filter. Don't forget how we wrote the statement the other time. How we wrote the statement is that we write it like this. We write our statement like this, and we now say, let's say we want to filter. So we want to filter, we now want to say where, now want to say, oh, sorry about that, where, let's say maybe itinerary or where this, let's just say where this is greater than, let's say 500, because now we are now sure that we've converted our itinerary fare, to what's it called, to numeric system. If we run this, that's what it's going to give to us. It's going to give us an error. You know why it's giving us an error? But however, if we copy this again, I'm just trying to show us why that one is giving us an error. And whereas if we remove this minimum, and remove this, and we run this, it's going to work. Oh, let me see that. An aggregate. Oh, sorry, this one. So that scares me before. So this one is good. Oh, wait. Oh shit. Sorry, I don't know how to use that word. Oh, okay. If I run this, okay, now it's getting interesting. An expression of non-Boolean. Where is it coming from? If I run this, well, yeah, and now you're talking. So you see that this where statement is working for this when we remove this minimum. So now, what now happens? How do we navigate? This this situation? How do we navigate this situation? It's very easy. Instead of us trying to do it directly like this, we can't do it directly like this. But this will work. We can filter this like this. Maybe let's say they give you a task and tell you that. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to copy all of this again. Copy all of this again to C, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to call this filter after aggregation. So let's say they ask you to say, okay, do a count of these and give us the number of passengers that are greater than 5 or greater than 100 or stuff like that. There's no way you can actually say, oh, okay, let me just say passenger greater than 5. You have to first do the aggregation first, then you now throw in the where statements. So now let's do that and see how it works. So how are we going to do that? We are going to use the word for this. We don't need this again because we already know that those ones are correct. Oh, sorry, I want to Z. So I was in this one. It was because I was selecting everything right there. Let me say I want to add passengers to this as well. Passengers to that, then which means I will have to go by passengers as well. So let me just put this passenger on this line. So now we want to have we want to impute a filter. And how do we impute a filter? We can't use where. You can't use where statements. So what we are going to do is having. You get that? We are going to use having. Since we now want to say when count is greater than, like, any want to know wherever it is greater than, let's say 100, give us that value. You can now say where this greater than, depending on the scenario that you are actually given. Then I can use this to just end it. If I run this, it's going to work. Right, that one is going to work. And right here you see that the count, you see no column name because we didn't give it an alias. So there's no way you will see here whereby you see any values that is less than 100 right here. Right, if we probably now say let's make it 200 and see what you are going to have again. So if you run 200 and we have this, you see there's nowhere you have less than 200. So that's how that one works. So now we've also grouped this one, and let's say we want to see where itinerary fare is greater than, is probably equal to or greater than. You now use having, and that's where you use having sum this. So don't actually see it as having sum this. So what you're actually looking at is sum of this, having this number that is giving us, maybe having 100, 200, then you can now say greater than, or let me say less than itinerary fare, let's say 300, you know. Then if we run this, then it's going to give us that value. You see that. So everything you see for this total fare, for this total sale will be less than 300. It will be more than 300. You see that. Yeah. So just like that, the same thing also applies to the other one. Either you want to do, think of anything, think of any stuff you want to do. So it's also the same thing for average, for maximum, for minimum, and that is how it works. So I'm just going to clear this off since everything is actually the same. So with that, we've been able to touch a lot of stuff. Don't forget that I'm actually using ticket 1 and flight 1 at this time. So probably if we have any cost to use, ticket 1 and airport code 1. If you have any reason to use flight 1, we can also do, I think, the conversion of flight 1, maybe tomorrow or something like, or any other day like that. We can actually do that. And if you want to take up the challenge, you can also do that. How am I going to do that? If I'm to do it, I will open the Excel, right? And after opening the Excel, this one is actually very, very tricky, and it will be a very, very good challenge for us. Even though if you don't probably get how to concatenate or separate all these, at least give it a try. Try to convert the flight tickets to try to clean it and make it a proper one, just like we did for flight and airport code. But that's not the exercise. The exercise will be draw up on the platform, and I will expect us all to I will expect all of us to actually do the do the exercise. So I will send the what's it called now? I will send the attendance so we can all fill the attendance. I think we have a good participation today. Someone is asking me how I create ticket 1. Yeah, I'm here to send the attendance. So how I created the ticket 1. Okay, that is a good question. If we go up right here, if you remember, this is ticket 1. You see, that's that stuff that we, the first stuff that, and the first CTA that we created. I will select, and all we just have to do there is that when you are done with your code, all you just have to do you select all the values, then you select into what's the name of the new database you wanted, then where are you selecting it from. So now we selected this, all of this, then we selected it into ticket 1 is the name we wanted to give to it. I added DBO database so that it will go inside this DBO. Then from where we want it from these tickets, from this ticket table, and that is how the ticket 1 is actually being created. And that is how we also created airport code 1 as well. So we also do this as well. So if you want to do it for, if you also want to do it for, what's it called? For flights, we are also going to use the same thing. So let's expect our assignment, our exercise. Let's expect our exercise on the platform. Then I'll also share the link whereby we are going to drop the exercise. So when we are done with the exercise, you don't have to, what you just have to do is for you to just, I will probably encourage all of us to use ticket 1, flight 1, training 2, so that when I copy the code and I just run it, then I will know that, you've actually done the same. So I won't have to be changing it for everyone. So it will be easier for me, to go through all the code. So once you are done, you just copy it and just paste. So let me see if I can open up the stuff so I can show us how the exercise is going to look like. So it's going to look like something like this. Then you fill your email, you pick you choose the number of exercise, then you copy your code, just like the code that I was saying right here. You copy the code from there, and you just paste your code right here. And once you paste your code, then you come here. So this screenshot is probably maybe when we are doing the Power BI that I'll ask you to take a screenshot and you just upload it. Phone number helped me to track, some numbers. Then you can just comment if you have comments or questions or any concerns. You can drop it. I always love reading that. And also you can just read the class. So just to me to know how you learn, or if you have some other stuff that's, if I'm too fast or if I'm too slow, you just let me know from there. So I will upload the recorded video on the YouTube. So once we are done with the filling of the exercise, then we can go. But I will stop the recording now and we can take any question that you might probably have.